to islands in the sky. I need you to fly me away. 7 different ways of fighting up the storm we've been sleeping on. Yeah, digging up the ground, trying to find what's wrong. Plant a seed, burn it down, make it freeze. Drown it, then we shock it till we bring it to its knees. Heaven blowing on my dice, for a prize. Feel the breeze, hear it roaring like a night. Running, climbing, swimming, gliding, maybe I'm alright. I'd rather be dreaming, floating while sleeping, to islands in the sky. I need you to fly me away tonight. Asking about my life, full of questions I couldn't answer if I tried. I'd rather be dreaming, floating while sleeping, to islands in the sky. I need you to fly me away. Please fly me away. Won't you just fly me away tonight? Seven tries, every night's a gamble. Even when I turn off all the lights, all I see are puzzles, yeah. I'd rather be dreaming, floating while sleeping, to islands in the sky. I need you to fly me away. 7.
Heidi. Ready to get this stream underway. We'll be doing a what seems to be a pretty popular topic. Hurricane Ian coming into Florida, which obviously is nothing to make light of. Hopefully everybody down there staying safe, and hopefully it will not be as devastating as they are thinking it's going to be, but yeah, hoping everybody down there stays safe and can weather the storm out pretty well. But the popular topic I'm talking about is flight simmers seem to love to fly through hurricanes. While I was working today, I popped up YouTube and saw my fair share of streams and videos of everyone flying through Hurricane Ian. So I had planned on doing it regardless, but since I've never actually flown through or near a hurricane, and I just wanted to, you know, give it a shot, I guess. It's not extremely realistic, especially the flight we're going to make, that it would ever happen, but, you know, we're going to test the aircraft, test the limits. We've got all the crash damage, stress damage, everything on, so it'll be very realistic, and if this hurricane wants to pull the plane apart, that's what's going to happen. But gonna do my darndest to try and make it a successful flight and land it and, you know, make it successful basically. So we are going to be taking, let me just pull the I'll just pull the VFR map out here. We're gonna be taking off from Cancun, and we are gonna fly to Key West. And so here is a look at our route. We will come up through here, and then we are going to land at, I think it was Key West. Was it International? just a one runway airport. Well, it's not showing me the name. I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was like Key West. Actually, I think, can I click it here? Nah, it doesn't give me a name. Anyway, yeah, I believe it's a one runway airport. There's another one. Well, it'd be this one just to the right. The second blue dot there to the right is the other runway down there, which I think is probably it is the bigger one. But yeah, we're gonna fly into the smaller one. Being a smaller jet, I thought, what the heck? And yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So right now we're just looking at a shot of Cancun. This is where we're gonna head out from. We're sitting right down there on the GA parking, right at the very bottom of the screen, and we're going to head out of here, and I think cruise at about 28,000-ish feet. And the route is going to take us pretty much, not right over the eye, but a little bit east of the eye. But I think when I checked the weather in Key West right before we started here, it's we're doing live weather, so it's blowing about 40 knots at that airport. So this should be interesting. So we will we'll give it a shot and see what happens. We're also running the new NVIDIA driver. They released that earlier today, which I think they had said kind of offers quote-unquote official support for the flight simulator DLSS integration. So I had always kind of wondered that when Sim Update 10 came out, if the DLSS is actually working at its full potential, or if there's still something NVIDIA needs to do on their side. It sounds like they updated the driver, so we'll see. I mean, so far the stats not looking bad. I mean, I'm just sitting here static on a runway, but it is a populated airport, and so, but it's holding 60 frames easily. So, but we'll see as we start going. I'll kind of glance over there and keep you updated. I know some people like to stay abreast on how the frames are doing and put a lot of stock into that, but we'll yeah, I'll let you know, see if I see any noticeable difference here. But yeah, I'd say let's get underway. Let's get this flight going. Who knows, we may have to go around several times. I have no idea. I didn't select any kind of approach. I think that runway had an RNAV approach, and if you're a returning viewer, you know that me and RNAV approaches over the last several streams have not gotten along, but the last waypoint that I think we'll hit is almost going to have us on the runway heading, so it'll just be a matter then of managing the altitude and the speed as we work our way in, which that's fine by me because I'm going to have plenty to deal with probably the 60 knot winds we're going to be dealing with anyway. So all right, well, let's hop in and get going, and we'll see what happens from there. So it's fired up, get the battery on. But yeah, from what I saw earlier today, anybody else that's been doing these similar flights kind of into South Florida, been having a lot of fun. A lot of them obviously were airliners, and so we'll see how a smaller jet fares here. APU is on. Go ahead and tune in the ATIS for Cancun here. India. Here's a look at the flight plan. So again, no actual approach in. So still, I mean, we're going to keep it as realistic. It's obviously going to be realistic in terms of flight dynamics and everything like that, but in terms of the approach and everything, I'm not going to actually select one. We're just going to take one in direct from our last waypoint and just do it in that way. But again, more goal of this flight, obviously, is to see how this performs in hurricane type weather. So, all right, well, we are all set up there, so I'm going to go ahead and ask for our IFR clearance. Cancun clearance delivery, Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa, looking to pick up IFR clearance to Key West with information India. Cleared to Key West as filed. Takeoff runway 30 left. Climb and maintain 6,000. Departure 123.5. Squawk 4454. 6 Bravo Papa. Alrighty. I was doing some additional reading. I'm trying to talk and continue with the startup here. Doing some additional reading on the Longitude today because I really want to get it to the point where I'm firing this thing up and operating it like an actual Longitude pilot would. Eventually, hopefully, here we'll get a regular watcher of the stream that maybe is a Longitude pilot and then can correct me if I'm doing anything wrong. But one of the main things I was looking into was the whole engine starting sequence, and from some of the checklists and other videos and other stuff that I had watched, I always engage the starter and then watch the N2 rise up, and then once it hits a certain threshold, then hit the, I guess the run stop button is what you would call this. Well, I found an actual real world Longitude document today that appeared to show that when you go to start the engine after your APU's been on for a certain amount, I forget what it said, something about the air bleed is enough at that point to the engines to where then, basically as long as it's been on for at least, I think, a couple of minutes, which it said by the time you start the APU and then finish all the other stuff that I'm doing right now, it will have obviously been that amount of time. But then you basically can come in, hit the run stop button first, and then it's going to send a certain PSI of air pressure to the engine. Now, I don't know where that's going to show up on here. I'm wondering, it's not going to be the oil PSI. Because I know once you start that, well, once you start the starter, the N2 will start coming up. But I'm going to try it today and just see what happens. But it seemed like maybe that was what you hit first. And then it said within just a few seconds after hitting the run stop button, you should see the PSI hit whatever level it should be. And then you would hit the starter button at that point. And then the engine is started. So if that is true, I've been doing it backwards this whole time. And I mean, this was a actual pilot's kind of review of the aircraft. So I feel like it was a pretty valid document to be going off of. So I'm going to try that, to do something a little different today, just see how it starts. And we'll see if that makes sense. But all right, well, we have got our clearance and got all that dialed in. Going to set us initially for 185 knots on the outer throttle. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put that at 200 since we're taking off out of Cancun, and then going to be direct straight to where we're going. We'll go ahead and start it at 200. I used to have unlimited fuel on. I went ahead and turned that off. I want to get to the point where we're flying, and losing weight, and the flight dynamics start factoring all of that in. So we should have plenty of fuel for this flight, but when I start getting into VATSIM and then filing things through SimBrief, I'll actually be doing the calculations of how much fuel I need, and so I'll get more realistic with that as we go. But I did go ahead and switch it off for this flight, so I hope we don't end up having to go around a ton of times, because fuel will really start to become an issue at that point. So, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and give this new startup sequence a shot here. So I'm going to go ahead and open the fuel. And then, yeah, like I said, it is starting with the run stop button first, and I'm going to hop right back up to the screen and see if we actually see a change when I do that. So, button is pushed, and that didn't go as quick as I had hoped. I'm not seeing any numbers changing by doing that. Now let's just see what happens if I hit. Now that that's been running for a few seconds, now that I hit the starter, what's going to happen. So I don't get any master cautions except for the generators, which is normal. The N2's coming up like normal. I wonder if it'll just automatically then start introducing the... Yeah, it's starting to climb up. Huh. So maybe the way I was doing it before, where I engage the starter, wait for the N2 to hit 20, then do the run stop, isn't necessary. Interesting. Okay, well, we will we'll go ahead and do the other one the same way. Engage that. Go ahead and close the lid on it. It's been a few seconds. Go ahead and engage the starter. We'll watch it come up as well. All of the fuel flow and oil pressure and temps and everything behave like they normally do when I do it the other route as well. So may have just been doing an extra step that I didn't have to. This one's about to hit 20. And the N1 is starting to tick up with it as well. So, okay. Right engine's good, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the generator there. I used to wait till this number got in the 15 to 20 range, but now that I can see it going up, everything's looking good. I'm going to go ahead and put the generator on there as well. Bus tie's open. APU generator is off. And now the APU is off as well. Okay, go ahead and arm the ground spoilers. And I think that has got that. Up top here, now that we've got our generators going, hit the rest of our lights. Arm the emergency lights. Be awesome if somebody could model these to start working. That would be cool. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the tail floodlight now. I'll go ahead and turn the wing lights on as well, because I imagine once we get out there into that storm, I'm going to start to forget a lot of that stuff. So we'll just be lit up as much as we can going into it. Go ahead and arm the ELT. When we crash, they can find us. Pedo and ice. Definitely want those. And we're in FMS mode there, so I think at that point we are good. So go ahead and call for taxi clearance, because I think we are ready to go. Cancun ground, Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa is ready to taxi. Taxi and hold short of runway 30 left using taxiway Alpha, tower 118.1, 6 Bravo Papa. All right. Ed. At. So we're going 30 left, so we're going down to the opposite end that we are facing, but we are basically just going to, yeah. We're just going to pull out of here, go left, and then take another left. All right. Go ahead and get our taxi light on. Let us know we're ready to roll outside. Here we go. Parking brake is coming off. Let's go fly to Key West in the middle of a hurricane. You guys can see the status of the flight now. That's going to be the, you can't see it yet because obviously we've just started, but there'll be a red bar going across the top that will show the status of the flight. Nice big stutter from the flight simulator there. That's nice. Gave me a heart attack because I looked over and the frames were down to 18, but we must have just hit something just happened there, but we're back up to 56, so we're good. All right. Take taxiway Alpha here all the way down to 30 left. hop outside here so it's loud.
7 tries, every night's again.
Sorry, I was in OBS when I hit the end button and it took me to the closing scene. All right, we're back. Well, it doesn't look like we're the only one down here in Cancun, obviously. They're not being affected too much by the hurricane, so nice liveries over there. American Southwest. I didn't catch what that one was. Well, which one was that? Sun Country. And Frontier. United, WestJet. I'm using the, I believe it's the Aerosoft. Traffic tool. Still waiting for the Just Flight's traffic tool to come out. I'm told that that's supposed to be one of the kind of the game changer when it comes to this whole AI traffic and ground traffic and everything else, you know, being kind of accurate when it comes to the right liveries at the right types of airports and the right types of aircraft parked in the correct areas at an airport and all that. I mean, this one right here from Aerosoft, I think it was a payware. I think I did have to pay for this, but I mean, it seems to be doing a great job because you can see over there you got Air Canada. Now whether, oh, I'm sure Air Canada flies to Cancun, obviously, so some of those other ones, I mean, I've seen it, you know, not perform its best at some places, some airports, but I mean, some of these things you can only ask for so much. I mean, it's never going to be perfect, but yeah, Just Flight. I mean, they've created a lot of good add-ons and software over the years, and so their new traffic tools, everyone I believe is anticipating is going to be pretty nice. So we must be speeding because my automatic spoilers came up. Oh yeah, we crossed 20 knots. Whoops. Down there. Disarm them because I don't necessarily want them up. Slow down to where we should be, and then I'll go ahead and rearm them. All right. Fly out of here at 6,000 feet. Did I just disarm them? If I did. There we go. 6,000 feet. I got to set at 200 knots on the auto throttle. Going to eventually climb to about 28,000 feet. And like I said, we are going to pretty much 28,000 feet. I don't think we're going to be over the top of where that hurricane's at. I don't know how high hurricanes usually, how high their cloud levels are, but I doubt 28,000 feet is going to have us above it. So we should be a little bit on the east side of it. So we'll be catching kind of the northeast winds coming as it wraps around, basically. So be looking for that when we go to land in Key West, but I'm sure it probably won't get a view of like the eye and that sort of thing, but I'm sure it's going to be rainy and stormy and everything else in between. So should make for an interesting flight. I did change, we are on live weather obviously, but I did change the time of day because I did want it to be light out so we could at least see what was going on, and it's already going to be hard enough and I didn't want to fly it in the dark, and plus I just wanted to be able to have hopefully some good views of it. So all right, got all of our lights on. We're going to go ahead and call for our takeoff clearance. Cancun Tower, Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa, holding short of 30 left, ready for takeoff. Cleared for takeoff, 30 left, 6 Bravo Papa. Oh, 4 knots of wind. That'd be nice. It's going to be the last we see of that. So, all right, we're just going to go with 1 notch of flaps here. A little late getting you around there, but yeah, you saw them go in. So we're good with that. 1 notch of flaps. Everything else is on. Autopilot's ready. Auto throttle is ready to be engaged. All the lights are on. All right, we're good to go. Just going to roll out here and then continue to roll right into the takeoff. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get to anybody's stream or their videos early enough to see exactly where they were flying out of, but most of them, yeah, were heading toward the Key West areas in southern Florida, basically similar to what we're going to be doing here. So, all right, we're rolling. I've got full throttle. I'm going to go ahead and give it to the auto throttle to keep us there and then slow us down to 200 once we get up. You're looking for about 110 to 112 rotation. There's 110, 112. Go ahead and rotate. I'm going to hop us back outside and give you a view of the gear going up. We are on our way.
Cessna 6 Bravo Papa contact Cancun departure on 123.5. Good day.
235, 6 Bravo Papa. Good day. Cancun departure, Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa is at 1400, climbing to 6000.
Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa Cancun departure altimeter 29.78. Continue as planned. Cessna 6 Bravo Papa keep speed not above 230 knots.
Speed not above 230, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, so we got a little speed limit there, or it's alright because we're at 200, so going to hand fly this here for a bit. We do need to start to make a right hand turn here, so I'll keep us close to our route. We will eventually hit the 6,000, but I like to hand fly a little bit here without just switching directly over to the autopilot. We'll go ahead and give it to him at this point, though. Got us about on track, and he'll finish the other 500 feet up to 6,000. Pick up our speed here. 230, they told us. We'll hold it there for this next climb that they're probably going to go ahead and give us here in a second. Climb and maintain 200, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, so now we're going up. I like to climb a little higher than, or climb at a rate a little bit higher than 230 knots, but we'll go ahead and start there for now. Can always increase it. I need to look and see if that was a SID, if that was on the SID, or how long that lasts for, that 230 knot speed limit. Definitely something I need to get a little bit better at, knowing that kind of stuff. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at it real quick. Pull up a chart for Cancun. Okay, gave me that data fail yesterday, but after clicking around for a couple times, it did eventually come back, but right now it's not. A little disheartening. Let's try just typing it in manually and see if that helps. Refresh it. No, it doesn't. All right, well, We won't do that. I'll pull it up on the iPad here. Well, I guess I've got the Navigraph map that's in the sim itself here. Pull that down. Try to keep this stuff off the screen as much as I can so it's a little bit funner to watch from your perspective.
Cessna 6 Bravo Papa contact Merida Center on 125.2. Good day.
252, 6 Bravo Papa. Good day. Out here. Okay. Merida Center, Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa is at 9,000 climbing to 20,000.
Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa Merida Center altimeter 29.80 continue to Rocky as planned.
Did not have any chart. Okay, there we go. Left. Maximum 200 knots until D6. What are we cleared to? Rotgi? Is that on here? Appear to be one of the ones on here. But it looks like outer circle there, D9.0 arc. I think we are out of that speed limit zone here. I'm gonna go ahead and start inching it up and see if they yell. There. From them yet, so I think we're fine. We'll go ahead and climb up to 20,000 at 250 knots, and then at that point I'll go ahead and get us up to about 280 before we go ahead and climb the initial or the additional. Off. Flaps are up, gears up. Alright, we're good. Cruising right along. Bumpy. Gonna keep an eye on our wind indicator here for a lot of the flight. So right now a little quartering headwind off the left, about 10-12 knots. So we will expect to see that drastically increase, especially as we start to make it toward Florida. In terms of the graphics and things like that, well, let's go ahead and hop outside. We still got 5,000 feet to go. Okay, well, that's pretty smooth. Wow. I'm moving around the external camera like this and holding at 59 frames, so whether that's a few clouds and a lot of ocean below us, could be. I do know that when I tend to do that, it doesn't hold close to 60 frames, so could be. Could just be a placebo effect here that I'm thinking that everything's so much better, and it may just be doing exactly what it is. We'll really start to find out when we get into that hurricane, especially with all that wind and everything. If it's able to hold in the 50s, I will be shocked, and so But no, right now it's 60 frames, 59. Just, and I have the, I don't have any frame limiter set in NVIDIA, but I do have the VSync in Flight Simulator set to 50% the refresh rate, and my monitor's refresh rate is, I've got it set at 120. So that is why it's then capping out at 60. So yeah, it probably could be going higher, but GPU utilization right now is at 72, 73%. So I think that's fine. No need to push it any further than that, obviously. So, but yeah, some nice blue sky, ocean below us, leaving Cancun, Mexico, but off in that general direction is where we're heading, and it is no good. So we shall see. Back inside, we're coming up on 20,000. Still bouncing around up here. Bit of turbulence. Alright, before we get our next vector up, now that we're starting to level off, I'm going to go ahead and get us sped up. Okay, there's our cruise. 280, alright. Climb and maintain 280, 6 Bravo Papa. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and speed us up to about 280 knots, though, before we get to that. I think it's rated that you can climb up to 290 knots, I think, at about 3,000 feet per minute max, but I typically climb, unless I'm trying to get there quick, at about 2,000, and I've never tried to climb any higher at any higher speed than 280 knots. So it's going to get enough stress here in about 30-40 minutes. We'll just take it easy on it for now. And hopefully as we climb up here, it'll get a little less choppy, because we are just bouncing around right now. And am I... Okay, I don't know why it thinks 20,000. I guess I never increased the initial altitude, and I just started us climbing for no reason. Alright, there we go. 2,000 feet a minute, 280 knots. Coming up here pretty soon, or I guess next waypoint. Let's go down and see how far that is. Alright, about 5 minutes. We'll be moving off to the right. I'll expand this out just a bit so you can kind of get an idea of where our route's at. So there is the route. And that hurricane, currently the eye is sitting about... you can't see my mouse pointer. I hate that. So you can see the destination Key West, and then that first custom waypoint to the left of it. The eye is sitting just above that, basically. So we are going to be catching kind of the east side, which I think, obviously, if you know a little bit about hurricanes, I mean, the eye is technically pretty, I mean, it's open, obviously, and it's not windy inside the actual eye, but it's the outside there in the outer bands and stuff is where it really gets nasty. And so we'll be in for a treat here. I may or may not have put these custom waypoints in to slide us a little bit farther north toward the hurricane. I think when I picked just, you know, Cancun straight to Key West and then picked a low altitude airways, it had us going a little bit closer down to Cuba and then coming up from the south. But I thought, no, we need to experience this hurricane. So I threw in kind of our own route here. After we get done with Telco, we're going to kind of slide up to the north, and then but the reason I also did that was because that last custom waypoint is going to have us almost directly on a runway heading. So as we're trying to fight our way through the hurricane, at least I know once we come off that last waypoint, we're going to be pretty much lined up on the runway, and it'll just be a matter of altitude and speed management at that point. So all right. Well, let's look around. More scenic things than the MFD and PFD there. All right. Still jostling around a little bit. About 3,000 feet away from our cruising altitude. So once we hit that, then I'll bump us up to Mach 7.6 or somewhere around there. But yeah, for now we'll just look out the window a little bit. Not a whole lot to see. We're just cruising above the ocean. Still holding at 60 frames. Not really deviating at all from that, so that's cool. Hopefully, whatever they release today, maybe it'll really smooth things out for people. I know everybody said that when they switched over to the DLSS, it really clouded up or blurred up their cockpit, like the dash and all their instruments and everything. I didn't really see that too much, but I tend to zoom in a lot on mine, and maybe it's just from a distance. A lot of that too was a lot of the airliner guys, and so they're looking at different types of gauges and instruments than what's in this longitude that I'm used to looking at. So it may have just hit differently for everybody on, specifically what they were looking at. But right now mine's looking good. What are you doing? Gosh. Yeah. Yep, you're on there. Yep. Cool, man. Flying out of Cancun. No, not gonna work. No. Bye. That's what happens when it's pretty much past bedtime for the 11-year-old. Ready. Probably at that cruising altitude now, so I'm gonna hop back up front. Yeah, we're at 28,000. Pretty direct line now for at least till telco. So yeah, we'll go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and switch us over to Mach on the speed. And got our 0.72 right now. I think at this altitude about 0.76 is where we're probably going to get maxed out. Let's go ahead and speed it up there. Looks like we can probably 0.78. There's 0.781. We'll see where that lands. Barbershop pole coming into view there on the speed, and we got a little room in there. I mean, we're not in a huge hurry, but nothing wrong with getting there sooner rather than later. So let's go 0.79. It's probably a 0.80. It's gonna be about the max. All right, there we go. We'll go Mach 0.8. Once we start to make this turn around, if you're looking at the middle screen down there, the turnaround kind of cube, it kind of follows the curve around there. Once we hit about, kind of where the arc is there, showing the how far out we're looking from our current point. Once we hit about that arc, we're going to start getting into the weather. So I'll slow us down at that point, obviously, because a little bit slower is better when we're talking about that kind of that kind of turbulence that we're going to be encountering. So, you back again? Oh, just flying, heading toward a hurricane. Pretty exciting. You been on here flying your jet lately? No. All right. All right. Okay. All right.
Cessna 6 Bravo Papa contact Havana Center on 135.1. Good day.
351, 6 Bravo Papa. Good day. Havana Center, Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa is a flight level 280.
Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa Havana Center. Continue to Lennox as planned.
Seems like it did go ahead and smooth out a little bit once we got up here, so at 28,000. Cooking right along at 512 knot ground speed, so it's almost like we can't wait to get to that hurricane. So like I said, we're going to keep every possible way that we can to keep this as realistic as possible. So if we go to land and it's not looking good, or we can't see the runway, or anything like it would be in real life, we'll have to go around and try it again. But definitely not goal here not to obviously crash this plane, and the goal is to get it down as quickly as possible, hopefully on the first try, but ultimately get it down safe, because we're trying to do it real here, and we'll say we've got some passengers on board. Flight Pro, how's it going, man? Don't think I've seen your name pop up in the chat before, so good to have you. Just doing, I think, what just about every other flight simmer is doing at this time, and skirting alongside Hurricane Ian, making our way into, in our case, Key West. Because again, I may have checked the the current weather to see who was dealing with the hardest winds right now, and it does seem like, or the highest winds, and it does seem like Key West is encountering the heaviest share of that right now. So this time tomorrow, my guess is it'll be up on the coastline near Tampa and some of those other places. So we might be back on tomorrow night and fly into Tampa. We'll see how this goes. Like I said, not making light of any type of that situation going on in Florida. Obviously, everybody's staying safe and making it through there as best as they can is at the utmost importance right now. But yeah, just trying to see how the Cessna Citation Longitude reacts to a hurricane, as that's not something that I have done with it in the several months I've been flying with it now, so we shall see. As I click away, we do make a left turn. Not a whole lot going on outside, obviously, just a lot of blue water. Check out the external view here in just a minute when we finish this turn. See if we can start to make out any any of the outer bands of that hurricane yet. Cockpit, just make sure everything looks good before we do that. Yeah, and if we take a look down there, so Telco, which we are on right now, heading to that first custom waypoint we have set. Looks like we got about 6 minutes before we get there. And then at that point, probably halfway between the first and second custom waypoint there is when we probably will start to encounter some of the winds and rain off of that storm. So right now, a quartering tailwind off the left, about 26 knots, so helping push us right along. But yeah, let's take a look outside. See, other than high level clouds. Like I said, I don't know exactly how high hurricane storms, clouds, how high they go up, what their max altitude is, but we'll already be on a descent by the time we start to get into it anyway, so even if we were cruising at 45,000, I still don't think we would be above it as we're flying, so. And we're not going to be near the eye, so I'm not looking for any visuals like that. We're just basically probably going to be like we're flying through a pretty nasty thunderstorm is my guess, so. Time will tell. But yeah, I definitely think a lot of these little scud clouds kind of hanging out here that we're starting to make our way into, definitely some remnants of Hurricane Ian, so we're getting closer. I wonder put the drone camera into action here. If I take him up pretty high. Oh yeah, I think you can start to see him out there. Center it here. Let's go up. I never really tested how high this drone camera will actually go. I don't think we'll actually go high enough to be able to get. I can't even tell if it's actually. Is it still going up? Let me put the speed all the way up. There we go. Yeah, to be honest, I've never tested to see how high a drone camera will go. I wonder if it would take us up into space. That's interesting. I wonder if anybody's ever tried that. I'm sure somebody has. Alright, we're going to get on top of this cloud layer, and I'm curious if that's just going to block out anything that we're trying to see. Kind of hoping maybe we would be able to catch the kind of a bird's eye view of it. I'm just holding down the button that's sending the drone straight up, and right now I'm not seeing. I mean, obviously we see clouds, and I think the higher we're going up here, the thicker white up there is obviously getting to be some of those outer bands of it, but well, the sky is getting darker here as we continue to go up. I do wonder what the max height is on this. I wish they give you a little altimeter for it so I could actually see you know, if they're going to stop us on the edge of space or what here. Man, this is crazy how high this is going. It is almost about to turn black. Hard to tell because I've still got the follow mode on, so it's moving with the air, because I'm looking down at the clouds to see if they're still moving, which would mean that I'm still moving up, but that could also just be because the drone is continuing to move forward with the jet as well. Well, we are, man, if we're not in space, we're damn close to it. But I still can't really make out the actual hurricane. Do we see the plane down there? Nope. Well, I'm guessing that big mass of clouds out there is the hurricane. I'm just holding down on this because I'm assuming we are still going up at this point. And actually, I think even if I hop back into the cockpit, it should hold this position. It's still going to continue to travel with the aircraft. But I think it should stay up in this altitude and everything. Yeah, I'm going to assume that that is the Hurricane right there. Well, I don't know. Let's just kind of do a rotational look here. I mean, blue skies, island, and then huge, massive clouds. I mean, yeah, that's got to be it. All right, well, what I'm going to do, I'm still holding up on the button that says we're going up in the air, but I'm going to go ahead and stop it there. Oh, you know what? I can see a change in the, when I look at the very bottom of the screen, as those clouds go by, I'm not holding the button to send it up in the air, and then now I am. And see how they start moving quicker. So it is still going up. Oh yeah, I can start to see it now. And I think that be Key West over there. I know you came here for, you know, to see a Citation fly, but this is scientific right now. We're testing the limits of this drone camera. And at this point, I think... Oh, looky there. Stars. Ha! Yeah, at this point, we're entering space, so... Ow. I was kind of hoping it would be a little more pieced together. You know what? Like I said, we're going to keep this view. And... we will come back to this, especially as we start to get close and we start flying through the edge of it. I'll take a second to hop out to the drone cam real quick, and we should still be... At that point, I'm going to want to be looking down a little bit more, so I'm going to go ahead and set it so I don't have to worry too much about adjusting it once I get in here. Yeah, because look, there's... Oh, wow. See, we're starting to lose... Because you can see... I don't know, would that be the Keys right there? But look, see how that kind of comes down? I'm sure you can see that on the screen. Yeah, you can see that on the screen. That little blue line that just kind of takes everything... I don't know what that would be. That's weird. Okay. All right, we're going to leave the drone camera right there. And we're just going to go ahead and hop back in the cockpit. A long ways away. All right, cool. Okay, so we're definitely starting to see those clouds and realize that we are getting close to... Yep, we're working our way there. I'm going to hold this Mach 0.8 for quite a little while here. I mean, we are going to have to start coming down. I don't want to forget about the fact that, you know, we're on a flight and we're going to land. But we have, from this current custom waypoint that we are on to the one that is highlighted there in purple, we got 6 minutes till we hit that. And then it should be about another, since we'll probably be descending at that point, 6 to 8, probably 8 to 10 minutes to get from the second custom to the third custom waypoint, and then that will be our last. We should be on almost a direct runway heading at that point. And we'll be in the Hurricane at that point. So, yeah, we want to have altitude and speed and everything under control by that time. So, guessing at the top of this next waypoint is probably when they're going to go ahead and start descending us. Let's see.
Cessna 6 Bravo, Papa contact, Miami Center on 124.
Even be before that, we'll see.
Good day.
247, 6 Bravo Papa. Good day. Miami Center, Cessna November 316 Bravo Papa is at flight level 280.
Cessna November 316 Bravo, Papa, Miami Center. Continue as planned.
Okay. Yeah, I'm wondering if they might bring us down just before we get to that waypoint. We'll start to see. But we'll definitely want to start slowing down, and especially because of the turbulence that's probably going to come with this hurricane. And you can see looking straight ahead there, if that is what we're in store for, we are right on the level of those clouds. Not above them, not below them. 28,000 may not have been a great altitude to cruise at. That's all right. Take a look outside and see. Yep, there's those outer bands. We are coming up on them. Gonna get eye level here. We might be just above them, but once we start coming down, we will be just in them. Trying to decide, because if I want to hop out and get an external view while we're flying through there, what do I want it to be? I think maybe kind of just off the quarter tail here, off the right wing. Yeah, that'll work. All right, just for the heck of it, let's hop out real quick, back to that drone cam, and just see what we see now. It's definitely tipping. I'm going to try the thing here that levels up the camera, and hopefully I just don't reset a bunch of stuff. Okay, good. Oh, there we go. I don't see a defined eye just yet, but yeah, that's definitely the hurricane. I think I got too high, and this blue line is starting to cut off some of the stuff, so I'm going to bring it down, actually. This would be kind of cool to grab a screenshot of if I get a chance. If I get a chance, like I won't be doing anything else. Well, I mean, we are going to let the autopilot, fly us until we get to kind of that final waypoint, and halfway then to the runway at that point, so. But we'll be managing altitudes and throttles and everything else, so I'll go ahead and take a screenshot of that, why not? Alright, back to the cockpit. Hey, there we go. That's what I'm staring at. What do the passengers see? They see, according to them, everything's still fine. We just see a few high clouds off the left wing, a few high clouds off the right wing. They don't know any different. And the Longitude does have a blocked off cabin, I believe, or maybe it's just a curtain that separates it, but yeah, you can't see out the front of the cockpit the way that they have it modeled here. So our passengers right now are none the wiser of what we are just about to come into. Now, we are just about to take a right-hand turn here in a second that will deviate us a little bit from flying directly into what we're about to fly into. So that'll be nice. But I'm guessing we're still going to catch the edge of it. So I'm going to go ahead and start slowing down, because I think they are going to vector us down at this waypoint, and I don't want to be going Mach 8 through a hurricane. Go ahead and slow it down to 0.72, which honestly should put us somewhere around the 280 knot. Switch us back into knot mode there. All right. We're going to let it ride at 280 knots. We are going to see if they do start bringing us down. The fan on the GPU is now starting to really turn and burn. For those of you that care, the frames, yeah, 59, 60, still holding there. The utilization is now up to 89, 90%. So it's definitely working a little harder to get these clouds in for sure. All right, well, that little right-hand turn did not take us out of the line of it at all. So, and now we can see if air traffic control is going to want us to come down. If they don't start vectoring me down, I'm going to start coming down, because we are starting to get closer. Let's look real quick at the drone cam. That's a hurricane. Crazy. We will take one more slight right-hand turn on our final waypoint to get us lined up on the runway, but this right here is pretty much the general direction we're going to be heading in for the rest of the way to Key West. So go ahead and start to slow us down again. 280 knots going through something like that, probably not the best. I'm going to go ahead and drop us to 250. And that way, if they do go ahead and start bringing us down, because at this point, 28,000, I mean, we got to be coming down. I don't want to be just nose diving and going way above that 250 knots. So
Delta 345 contact Havana Center on 135.1. Good day. .1 for Delta 345.
passengers still thinking it's just some high-level clouds we're dealing with. Just on their way to Key West. Honestly, I think we need to start coming down. I don't know if they're gonna, like I said, when I put in those custom waypoints, I don't think that should really affect whether or not they start giving us altitude vectors to come down, because we're not on a certain approach. But I would still think that they would bring us down. I'm going to go ahead and descend us to 16,000. Fortunately, that is going to bring us right into the top part of this storm. Let's bring it down about 2,000 feet per minute. Take a peek real quick at what the wind is doing. All right, we are, yeah, that makes sense for the way that the hurricane is wrapping.
6 Bravo Papa, you are 300 feet below your assigned altitude. Climb and maintain flight level 280.
Probably going, you know what, I'm going to request a decrease of 10,000. There we go.
Maintain flight level 180.
That way they don't keep bothering me with it. But no, this makes sense on the way that that hurricane is wrapping, that we're on the tailwind side of it right now. And then eventually, once we cross the eye of it, we'll be getting a little bit of a headwind, but mainly it's going to be a crosswind from the right as we come into Key West. So, all right, well, we're kind of hanging out on the right side of it right now, so this is kind of nice. At this point, though, the people on the left side of the plane are thinking, what's going on? Right side, we're starting to see a little puffy clouds. Like outside of the cockpit. Okay. Get an idea of the magnitude of it. So there's what we were looking at coming in. So we're able to get around the right side of that. It's rainbow. Lovely. Alright. At this next waypoint, we are going to then take a little bit more of a right turn. So we may... Man, are we going to avoid storms altogether as we come into Key West? That is not the way that the radar looked, but might make it a bit easier. Alright, so we're 23,000, still coming down. We'd put in a requested 10,000 less, so we were at 18,000, so once we start dropping below that, she may start chirping at us again, but we'll see. We're 250 knots. Don't want to get too carried away, especially with the turbulence we're probably going to encounter. Don't want to get too much stress on the plane. Again, we have every true to life setting turned on here, so just like we normally do, except crash damage, I will turn that off because when I like to utilize the replay tool, it tends to pick up the plane and drop it wherever your replay started from, and it breaks the landing gear and then makes you restart because it tells you that you just damaged the aircraft. So I tend to turn that off, but in this case I turned it on because I want every single thing true to life here. We've got no assistance with anything. We're completely flying this on all of the hard settings, so we are now entering into some clouds, so we're blind at this point. Or if I have access to the charts. Key West. Oh, well now I have them for Cancun, so that's nice. Let's get them for Key West though. Arrivals, approaches. You know, what runway are we landing on? Great question. Runway 9, because we are coming in direct. So let's take a look at that and just see kind of where we need to be altitude wise. 1,500 feet must be okay. And the runway heading is 093. So we may get up here and just set in 093. That'll be a little more scientific than just going by what we were set up on with the map when we set it up. So once we hit this final waypoint, I think I will go ahead and throw up 093 as the heading. Good. Glad I checked that. Alright, we are just about there. And we are now really riding a tailwind, 80 knots. Okay, so that's another reason that we do need to be slowed down. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to bring us down, even though we're still at 18,000 feet. I'm going to bring us down to 200. You know what? I'm going to bring us down to 200 knots. As we start to get close to that number, I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, I know. At this point, I'm on my own, so I may start to ignore ATC, so I know that's not ultra realistic, but at this point, I don't have any kind of approach dialed in. We're going to be doing this by eye, so... And I doubt there's a whole lot of people flying into Key West right now that we need to be worried about, so... Alright, so they think I'm on the RNAV 9. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect RNAV runway 9 approach via Sting transition. Cleared to Sting. 6 Bravo Papa. We'll just make her happy there. Alright, so we're coming up on our 16,000. We're going to go ahead and continue on down. Bring us down to 8,000 feet. 7,000 is fine. Oh, so there's traffic out here. Obviously, AI traffic, since that's all I have on. Hop outside and look here. Alright, well, there's some rain coming down. We are kind of right in the middle of all of it. That does not look like a fun pocket to be in over there. We should not be heading toward that, so I think we're alright. Main thing is it's going to be wind. Obviously the rain and the visibility are going to add a whole new level if we do encounter some of that, but right now it is, yeah, the 80 mile an hour tailwind that we're dealing with. Yeah, sorry. I'm going to cancel IFR just so that we're not going to worry about that anymore. Okay. We're at 200 knots. I'm going to bring us down at 3,000 feet now because I want to get us down a little bit quicker. Man, that throttle is auto. I'm going to scroll down so you can see the... there's what our auto throttle is doing right now. Awesome. All right, a little bit of a clearing here, but wind is still just completely kicking us in the butt. We're coming up on Key West way too quickly. We're too high. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn out of this, lose some altitude in the turn, and then come back on an 093 heading, and then we're going to land it. So we did not bring ourselves down quick enough there, so autopilot's off. I'm going to go ahead and make a right turn out of here. We're going to burn off some altitude. Swing back around and give ourselves a little bit more room because I want to make this successful. So yeah, Tyler Rhodes, man, you are exactly right, and that's exactly what I'm doing right now. We started bringing it down even before we started getting into the storm, and even still being down here at 200 knots with a 80 knot tailwind, it's yeah, it came up quick. But now, in order to make this successful, I think this is the right call here. I need to drop some altitude, get us more at about 5,000 feet as we're starting to come in on that approach. So I'm just going to turn around here, kind of come in on that last, if you can see that down in the middle screen down there at the bottom, our last waypoint. I'm basically just going to turn and I made the wrong decision on the turn. Probably should have hung a left. Okay, well, we're turning right into that. All right. That's okay. So our 80 knot tailwind has now become an 80 knot headwind. I'm going to hold the 200 knots. We do have 1 notch of flaps in. And yeah, we got no choice. We're just going to have to go right through this. That's all right. Understandable. Yes, Tyler, definitely. There's a lot of things you got to be on the lookout for when doing a flight like this, and sometimes they come at you quicker than you were prepared for them, and so definitely getting our fair share of lightning here. Yeah, we're now directly into that 80 knot headwind. There's some rain coming. All right, we're at 7,900. I'm going to go ahead and set us for 5,000. Don't want to fall below that. I need to go ahead and continue. I leveled out there. I need to continue on the right turn because we need to eventually make our way back to our course here. Yep, definitely getting some rain. I think it's worth an outside look because, yep, not a whole lot you can see. Passengers at this point, they just know that it's raining. All right, and there's some lightning. Beautiful. All right. Well, I started to climb out pretty hard there, so bring it back down. Want to be at about 5,000 feet coming out of this turn and back onto our course. Go ahead and set the heading to 093 was the runway heading. Go. And then we will go ahead and put that into heading mode once we're out of this, and on the final. That way we can have a little bit of help with it just keeping us on course, because that should be pretty much a straight crosswind once we get out of this, because right now we're looking almost, yeah, dead straight headwind here, and we're almost going in the complete opposite direction of the runway. So this is a big, lazy, slow turn. I'm actually heading back away from the airport right now. I haven't started the second half of the turn because I do want to buy us a little bit of room here, and we're not moving fast at all. Ground speed is actually 170 knots right now, and we are at about, yeah, auto throttle set at 200, but it's trying to battle the wind, so it's jumping between 200 and 220. But once we make this final turn to get back on our landing course, we are going to be straight downwind with that 80 knot tailwind, and he's going to come up on us before we know it again. So, which honestly now, I think the way that it looked on the map when we chose, well, we didn't choose runway 9. That's what it gave us when we chose Key West, or this particular airport to land at. It was showing us runway 9, which I think the Microsoft Flight Simulator defaults, like when you pick a arrival or a departure for that matter, it'll default to, I think, what it thinks should be the runway in use based on the wind and everything. So when we pick this runway, was it runway 9? Yeah, runway 9 is what it said we would be landing on. But unless that last, I don't know, couple of miles, it severely turns into a headwind right at that point, I think we're going to be landing with an 80 knot tailwind, which, yeah. I guess, let me try a little trick the one guy showed me the other night. Can I get, oh, I can. Now, can I remember what he said in terms of what runway is in use? Oh, wow, is that 66? No, that's the wind. Gust of 59 knots. Okay, fun. Thought this would show runway in use. What was the other runway? Take a look at that. Whoa. Wrong camera. Yeah, we're falling below, so I'm going to... Alright, let's hold it right there for right now. Pull up that chart one more time. Well, so it's either runway 9 or 27. So did any of that show runway 27? All right, we need to start turning back to the right here and try and hold our 5,000 while also trying to look at this. Wonder if that is referencing the runway 27. Winds are from 150, stay on runway 9 from Tyler. All right, man. I'm going with what you're saying. All right. And I think we are good here in terms of being far enough out. Yeah, so as we finish this turn, we ought to be good. Just curious how plenty. Okay. Even if we need to go around, we'll be just fine. Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead, because it's going to shift to a tailwind here as I complete this turn. I'm going to put us down to 165 knots. And I will go ahead and bring in a second notch of flaps at that point, and probably a third once we hit the tailwind side of this turn. And is that a crap ton of clouds? Yes, it is. All right, well, we may be doing this blind, but we have our 093 heading set. So once we kind of make this turn, I will hit the autopilot and have us in heading mode. And that should get us on the right course. So then we will try to land this baby. Probably going to be a stiff crosswind from the right. That is my guess too, sir. I think it's going to be probably pretty hard straight off the right, just like you say. Still think it's also going to be pushing us quite a bit too. I think it's going to be a pretty good little tailwind. All right. Up 4,600. I'm okay with that. Just kind of want to keep 5,000 as a general gauge. All right. Coming on around. Hard crosswind off the left right now. Yep. Because we're about to make a 90-degree turn to the right. That's going to be straight tailwind. Alright, so we're at 165 knots. I'm going to go ahead and put in the third notch flap. So we're full flaps. Hold this just a bit longer. Things are actually, yeah, we're having to... pretty hard to keep us at that 165 knots. Well, we are climbing. We hit something right there. Oh man, we're 6,000 feet just like that. Wow. Lightning galore. All right. Start to finish this turn here. Sorry if you're watching and it feels like we've been in this turn for 20 minutes now, which we kind of have, but trying to do it the right way and the safest way here and dealing with these winds. That's honestly... All right, now the tailwind starts. I'm going to... I'm not going to shut it off just yet. I'm going to turn off the auto throttle yet. May be wrong on that hurricane winds, LOL. Good luck. Hey, thanks, Tyler. No, that's fine. We'll come in on this runway, and if we start to get close and it's just no way we're stopping the plane, we'll go ahead and go around and then approach it from the other side. Honestly, it looked like it should have been at least a crosswind, but at this point, because I'm still not on the heading yet, we've still got to make a little bit more of a right turn. And right now it's a quartering tailwind, so once we make that right turn, it's just going to be a straight tailwind. So, yeah, I think it's going to be straight tailwind, but we'll do the best of it here. Taking it slow and easy. Just kind of bouncing between 4,000 and 5,000 feet here, just trying to not get too low, but then not get too high. I don't know what happened back there when we shot straight up. Some sort of a updraft of some sort, but yeah, all of a sudden the auto throttle went full power to try and hold us at our 165 knots, and I looked, and it's because we were climbing straight up. Or not climbing, but something pitched the nose straight up, so... Nicholas Chamberlain, late again. No, it's okay, man. You're actually here just in time for the best part. We're about to see if we're going to be able to land this thing on what appears to be a 80-knot downwind landing, or if we're going to have to swing around and come at it from the other direction. Hurricane almost strode my hand. Dude, I have heard that it is not a joke. I mean, it is a serious storm. What island are you on, man? Jamaica. Dude. Hope everything's okay. Hope you and your family and your friends are all safe, man. That is no laughing matter at all. And it sounds like as it approaches Florida, it's not deciding to let up at all. Yeah, Category 4 Cuba right now, yep. Yeah, we're on live weather right now, and so we're coming into Key West, and the eye, I believe, is a little bit to the northeast of Key West, but those outer bands is where I know a lot of that stuff is. It's Category 3 when it got here, 1, then 4. It jumped, yeah. I'm from the Midwest here in the U.S. We don't obviously deal with hurricanes, but we deal with tornadoes, and that, I know how you feel when it comes to storms like that that are completely unpredictable. Not fun at all. All right, I'm going to go ahead and slip us into heading mode. We're going to get into the 093 runway heading. Going to go ahead and have that auto throttle bring us down to, I'm going to go ahead and honestly put it at 140 knots. It's a little bit of a quartering tailwind now from the right. So, Tyler, the assumption that maybe it would be a hard right crosswind. We are getting a little bit of that, but it's still mostly tailwind. So, all right, we're on the 093 heading. Feeling good about that. Runway will be coming up here shortly. I should probably turn on some lights. Not that that's going to matter, but yeah, we got them on. We're at full flaps. The auto throttle to keep us at 140. We're bouncing anywhere between 140 and 155 right now. We are descending slowly. First thing I need to do is actually catch a visual of the runway here, because that's going to be, right now I cannot see it. And I was wondering if when we got here, would it be so rainy and stormy that we would have no visibility. It's looking like below these clouds, though, if we can get a peek of it, we might be okay. Tyler, yes, yeah, as soon as I can get a visual on it, then I can make that decision. But that is a number one right now, get a visual on it for sure. I have full control of the aircraft in terms of there's no autopilot on. I do have that auto throttle, just I don't want it to drop below 140. Just kind of letting the altitude bleed off here as we get a little bit closer. I'm trying to keep it on a 093 heading. Could have put the autopilot on, but I'd rather hand fly it at this point. Like I'm drifting just a tiny bit to the left, so let's try and get ourselves back to the right a tad here. Get that line lined up. Well, a lovely rainbow right there. – I just cannot decide if it wants to be... All right, hey, Tyler. Our right crosswind is pretty much there right now. It might be a tiny bit of a tailwind, but it is basically all straight off the right crosswind. Which obviously is why it has completely blown me off course to the left. And I'm trying to make that up right now. Runway's on a 093 heading. Right now we're on a 113 heading. Flying into it. Alright, we're blind. I'm at 2,100 feet. I'm okay with that. Still trying to work. I mean, we're basically crabbing into it right now. We're flying at a heading of 117. And really, we're not making up any headway here, but keep patient with it. Keep it steady. As soon as I lose patience with it is when it's going to go south. So, all right, we're at 1,500 feet. So I'm going to go ahead and start leveling off because I can't see a thing. And I do not want to get any lower than that when we are still, what are we still, 20 miles out? Yeah, we're still a ways out. So I know I'm way lower than I should be at this point, but oh boy, that was a gust. Tipped the wing hard to the right. Speed is right now. I don't want to zoom in too much and take my eye off this, but we're at 186 knots. All right, we're still making up some way. How far did that say I've got? All right, we're still 27 miles out. Gonna try and hold this altitude at 1370. I want to kind of inch it back up to 1500. I'm still 27 miles out. Oh, downdraft sent us straight down. Hey, that got us below the clouds at least. All right, I can see land. Unfortunately, it's not the piece that we are interested in. My goodness, what is that wind doing right now? 70, 80 off the right, and actually in a little bit of a headwind now. As you said earlier, Tyler, there is a hurricane for you. Hurricane winds. Speed us up to 150 knots, just because 140 is making me a little bit nervous. 140 I felt good with when it was going to be a tailwind, but now that we're straight cross and actually a little bit of a headwind, wow, did that say 85 knots? 87? Holy moly. Still holding a 127 heading. And we technically haven't even got back on course yet. Alright. You know what? 155 knots I'm happy with. Gonna keep full flaps in. If anything, for the stability of it. Not standing on the rudder at this point. I'm just using ailerons to kind of just fight the crosswind to get us back to the course line. We're almost going to do like you would if you were crabbing down the runway landing, and then right before touchdown just letting everything come back in line. Kind of doing that right now. I'm just kind of trying to fight my way back to the course line. Let me zoom in so you can see a little bit what I'm trying to do here. So there you can see that's what we are doing. And basically I am just trying to get back on our line, but at the same time inching our way towards Key West. And then as we get back to the line, hopefully we should be fairly close to the destination at that point, and then we'll kind of just turn our way back right on that 093 heading and then hold the rudder to kind of crab our way into the runway. That is the goal, Anyway. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat here. Yeah, Nicholas, I mean, hurricanes are just bad news all the way around. And yeah, they do always seem to... Every Atlantic hurricane ends up in Florida, it seems like. Yeah, you're right. I think I heard somebody say on somebody else's stream today about how the UK always seems to get the remnants of every hurricane that comes through the US and through Florida, and then they end up getting the remnants off of it. So I don't know if that'll be any different than Ian or with Ian or not, but... Tyler, you're pretty far out still. Yes, I am. We're moving nice and slow, but I'm okay with that. We got plenty of fuel, and we are just kind of working our way there. Still want to get more to the right. Yep, that's kind of what I just explained that I'm kind of trying to do is inch to the right at the same time as... Boy, the rainbows just keep showing up. Nicholas. Outside cam. Yeah, we'll take a look outside. We're about to go into some storm, so I'm going to have to hop back in real quick. But, yeah, here we are just kind of sidewinding our way into it. We're in. I mean, not too bad of weather right now, but, yeah, we're about to go into the teeth of it here. So, back inside we go. We've worked our way back up to 3,000 feet, but, again, I'm okay with that. We're far enough out. Straight right crosswind at this point. Just holding against it the whole way here. Yeah, 1,500 feet, about 5 miles out. I agree with you, Tyler. We are, what are we at now? Yeah, we're still 13 miles out. So 2,500, 2,700, whatever I'm at right now, that's good for about the next 6 or 7 miles for sure. Nicholas, go up. I think you can go 30,000 max. Well, I would if I were cruising, man, but we're coming down to land, so I want to get down as quickly and safely as possible here. Yeah, I think with the longitude, it's actually 45,000, so we can go all the way up to 45,000. We were doing that the other night on one of the streams. One of the flights we were doing. We went ahead and went to the max altitude cruise of 45,000, so you really get to cooking up there with that thin air. Ground speed, you can really fly, so. All right, we are almost trying to intersect our course line here, and we're getting close. So I'm going to really make an attempt now to try and get on the course, and then we will turn it back to the left and come into Key West. And the rain starts, and I'm guessing this is going to make it almost impossible to see the runway. I haven't put the gear down yet. I don't want that additional drag. I'm already at full flaps. And honestly, with that crosswind, right now it's showing a tiny bit into our face, but that's because I am flying a little bit adjacent to the actual runway. So once I level out here to the left and get on the actual course, that's going to turn itself into just a straight crosswind. And so don't really need the extra drag of the gear just yet, but I will want to get them down here pretty soon. We're now 7 miles out, so we're at 2,000 feet. I'm happy with that. But we need to get across to our target. So if I don't get across there sooner rather than later, we're going to be left of that runway by the time it gets here, so tipping it to the right. Gonna almost try and intercept it perpendicular here. 1,400 feet, 1,500 feet. I'm happy with that. There we've got some visual of some land. So that makes me happy that we will at least be able to see the runway. Alright. Now I'm going to start coming back left. And we just dropped about 300 feet in a second right there. Holy cow. We're at 1,000 feet. I can come back up a tiny bit. There's some lightning. Those waves do not look like they would be fun to swim in, so let's stay out of them. Engines just went full throttle to try and get back up to speed, I'm assuming. Alright. We're 1,200 feet. We are 5 miles out. We are somewhat on course at this point. Once we see that runway, we are going to land. Just tipped me hard to the right. Threw me off course. Let's get back to the left. Feet. And we are just drifting left and right and right and left, and there's some land. Holy smokes. Alright, we're going to go gear down just in case we are going to make an attempt here. I'm going to go ahead and take the throttle. This should be interesting. And I'm going to start working in some rudder, because we can no longer battle the crosswind with just the ailerons. And we are almost, oh boy. A lot of speed, a lot of speed. Oh my goodness. A lot of speed. We are just about to stall. There's the runway. All right. What's the wind doing? Basically a crosswind. Look at this. Standing on the right rudder. I have almost got it tipped fully left. All right, here we come. Do not let that crosswind turn us over. I got to get this mic up and out of the way. I'm hitting it with the yoke. Too high. Need to come down. That's okay. Oh, don't die, computer. Do not freeze up and die. Oh, it just sent us straight up. Get it down. You dog. I don't know if I can stop it if we land. Speed brakes. We are taking out lights. We are Tokyo drifting. Left rudder, get us back. I feel like we're on the ground. I'm going to open my eyes now. Holy cow. Holy cow. Okay, listen. All crash damage, all stress damage, every single realistic setting was on. Nothing popped up. Nothing told us that anything went horribly wrong with the aircraft right there. I'm going to stop clear of the runway. Speed brakes up. Flaps up. Tyler, would have been nice to have the ILS about right now. You know? True. The ILS approach and having the computer pull us in the entire rest of that way would have been nice. Okay. Not bad for a Category 4. Yeah, not too bad, Nicholas. I will agree. Somebody's doing the same vid as you. I imagine a lot of people are doing this exact same thing right now. Land it, land it, land it. Yeah, you betcha. Nice job. Thank you, Tyler. All right, well, we had the recorder going, so let's go ahead. We're going to finish off the flight. Let's taxi to parking. That American Airlines jet seems to have the right idea, so we're going to kind of work our way over there. We'll taxi, we'll park, and then we'll pull up that replay and let's see how we did. Just park over here by him. No use in going all the way. All right, well, Tyler, I agree, man. That was the right runway in the end. I think that was... Is he getting ready to take off? He is being pushed back. Wow. I'm on full AI traffic, so that is not somebody... Oh, wow. Was this actually where I was supposed to park? Nope. Watch out. I'm going to pretend you're not there. Duck. Okay. Alrighty. We're good here. Parking brake is set. I'm going to leave everything running because I have had issues with the replay where it'll kind of freak out if I shut the plane down and then I start doing a replay. So we'll leave it as is for right now. Let's load that in and see what we've got. The plane is huge. The Boeing 787 wheels are as big as my whole body. Yeah, it's a big plane. He's dead. Well, nope, there he is. Look, he's emerged from the front of the plane. He is fine. All right, I'm going to stop the recorder. I'm going to go in and... Oh, the recorder's not responding. Come on, man. We got to see that from an exterior view. Thank you. All right. Okay. Let me just go ahead and rewind from right here. All right, let's get a look from about right here. Okay, and let's go external. Oops, let's reset the position. We're still up there in Starlink territory. There we go. All right. Ooh, this is going to put the frames to a test here. I don't know what the best view... I mean, I kind of want to see where the runway's at because it's crazy how off we were coming into this. Alright, so here's Key West. And there's the runway. Straight ahead on the camera view, you can see we are pointed 25 degrees right of it. And now even more. 35 degrees right of it. At some point here, I also... either gained or lost a bunch of altitude. That right there, the wind got under my right wing and almost tipped us into a right there, almost tipped us into a 90-degree bank. All right, got back from that, and then at this point, yeah, now look at the rudder. Now I've started standing on the right rudder to basically try and crab us down the runway. It is full right rudder. I've let off, trying to let the tailwind push us, or the crosswind push us back. Look at this. Look at the... We're straight onto the runway. And we are just... obviously way too high at this point. I mean, real life, obviously wouldn't be doing this, but second of all, should have probably gone around at that point. But... at this point, it's a long enough runway. This plane's going to stop. So we were crabbing. Now let off the rudder. Let the plane come back in line with the runway. Oh, we landed. That's why we were drifting. Pretty sure that would fold up your landing gear. Not sure how realistic that is. Especially even with the crash settings and the stress damage and everything else. Probably should have had a landing gear roll up on us. Yeah. I may go ahead and call BS on the no damage detected on that one. But again, we got down. Let's go ahead. I'm going to run that back and look at it from the front now. Look at that. God, I forgot. No, that's okay because I think I can just click load. Well, that just proves right there that the crash detection for the like landing gear and things like that was on. I mean, it was our replay finally got the best of us here. This is okay. I'm just going back. I have to start it from the beginning, but now I'm going to load in the flight we just did. Take us all the way. No. I just wanted to get a view from the front as we were coming in. And it does not have my landing gear out. Let's see if that's... Might just be taking its time here. Look how the wind is just throwing this thing around. That is crazy. I really wish it would. I wonder if I pause it, if it'll bring the gear down. Are they coming down? Stop it? Nope. Nope, nope, nope. That's gonna make it crash. Up. We already know it probably would have folded up the gear. I just wanted to see kind of a front view. Oh, there they. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to come out. Wow. Yeah, we basically just drifted in. Were we already... From the back, it looked like we were already drifting when we landed. There, the gear came out all the way. That's nice. It looked like we were already drifting when we landed from the rear view. Let's see. Down the runway here. There we go. Yeah, we're drifting. Well, okay, that right there would have folded it up. One, we hit a light. Two, we were almost 35 degrees sideways at that point. Yeah, it would have rolled one up. Took out a... Well, we missed that light. But, in the eyes of the game, all was okay right there. We survived. Okay. Well, I'm going to call that a win. We didn't crash. We didn't have to go around. We did call off the initial approach. So I guess if you want to consider that a go around, we did go around, kind of. But yeah, we were able to make the landing. So I think we'll probably do this again tomorrow night. It's the hurricane making its way further up into Florida, and so you know, kind of probably the Tampa area, unfortunately, is probably going to start to see some crap come tomorrow. But yeah, we might shoot for maybe a flight, maybe from Cuba into somewhere like Tampa or something. We'll see. But all right, well, thanks everybody for stopping by. Tyler and Nicholas, thanks for blowing up the chat, guys. That was awesome talking to both of you. Tyler, thanks for the heads up on a couple of tips there as we were coming in, and you were right. Our straight off the right crosswind ended up being the final breeze that we had to deal with there. So, Nicholas, always good talking to you, man. I know you came in right at the very end there, so feel free to go back and catch the takeoff and some of the initial cruise there. We came out of Cancun to start the flight, so it was pretty nice for the first half until we got into the hurricane. So anyway, thanks again everybody for stopping by, and we will catch you probably tomorrow night. I'll get one scheduled and you'll see it pop up on the channel. So we will talk to you guys later. See ya.
Heaven tries every night to gamble. Even when I turn off all the lights, all I see are puzzles, yeah. I'd rather be dreaming